The copy machine in the school office can make 40 copies per minute. This is given below as a rule. Alright, so the rule is if 1 minute goes in, 40 copies come out.
Well, I like what you said there, because this is like an in and out machine. Do you remember when we would do this? We have another web page that has a picture of a factory. And whatever number you put in, that's what's happening in the factory. In this factory, that multiplies it by 40. So if you put 1 in, you get 40 out. If you put 2 in, you get 80 out. Keep going.
Okay, so the second one would be 2 times what equals 80? Well, if we know that 40 equals 1 minute, so if there's 2 minutes, it would be 40 times 2. So instead of being 40 equals 1 minute, it would be 80 equals 2 minutes. So that's how you figure out that one. The next one would be 3 and then 120. The way you find this out is you take, if 2 minutes equals 80, you just take 3 times 40. So it's anything times 40 is going to be the answer that either goes in or comes out as a finish.
Now this one's different because it gives you the number, but it doesn't give you the minutes. And it's less. It's 100 copies, which is exactly in between 80 and 120. So the number that we need in between 2 and 3 is the answer here.
Yeah, because we're going to need a fraction for this one, so it would be 2.5 minutes. It would make 100 copies.
And let's go back to that one thing we were talking about. Let's move this over. Where we made this little table. Every 30 seconds, it makes 20 copies. So in 1 minute, it makes 40 still. 1.5, it makes 60. 2 minutes, it makes 80. So in 2.5 minutes, what would it make, Jared? It's going up by 20. Yep. So nice job. So let's just go ahead. 3 is 140. 3.5 would be what? Oh, wait a minute. I did this wrong. That's 120.
Okay, now.
Then 3.5 it'd be 3.5 times 30 now.
Well, we keep going up by 20 here, so it's...
So now it's 140.
Yeah, nice work. And I think that helps us here.
So then for this one, 4.5 is the number that goes in, and then 180 is the number that comes out. So if 2.5 equals 100, you just take 2.5 and multiply it by 2. It would be 4.5.
Well, 2.5 times 2 is 5. Instead, do 4 times 40 is what?
4 times 40 would be 80.
Well, 4 times 4 is 16, and then you add a 0. It's 160. And then we know in the next 30 seconds it makes 20, so 180. And that one was right. Okay, so the next one is just like this. It's 220 copies. In 5 minutes, you can make 200 copies. And in 30 seconds, you can make another 20. Because we had this chart over here, because every 30 seconds, it makes 20.
Yeah, because half of a minute would be 30 seconds.
5 times 40, 5 minutes times 40 copies a minute equals 200.
This is like
And then another 30 seconds, it makes 20. Perfect. Oh, this is a good one. Read that one, Alex.
Mrs. Southern needs to make 150 copies. About how long will this take?
Okay, so 150, that's nowhere in this table, but we do have this, 120. So we know it's going to be more than 3 minutes, but it's going to be less than 4 minutes. In 3 minutes, you can make 120. And in 4 minutes, you can make 160. So it's somewhere between 3 and 4. Do you want to try 3.5? That would be 140. That's not quite right. So it's more than 30 seconds.
That's about 40
And
seconds.
it can't
How
be-
many copies can it make in 15 seconds?
in 15 seconds would be 10.
Yeah, so 10's what we get. So another 10 seconds on top of the half. So that's another fourth. So it's 3. The easy way to write it would be that's 3 minutes and 45 seconds. But they put 3 and 3/4, which is awesome too. Perfect.